Okay, so the plan for today is to get all of that into there, like this. So I'm going to be building a frame for all of that out of timber. We'll be putting a board down on the bottom to flatten everything off to build off, and then a couple of compartments for the drawers, lid on the top, and a panel down here to have all the controls and switches. This is not an instructional video or an educational video. This is just me having a crack and working this out as I go along. I'm sure there's better ways of doing a lot of this stuff. If there is, leave them in the comments, and yeah, see how we go. So one of the plans for this is to be able to have two different fridges in here. I've got a big sort of 60-70 litre fridge that I've been carting around for ages, and I don't really need a fridge that big most of the time. So it's not here yet, but I've got a 30 litre drawer fridge, which is going to sit on top of that most of the time. And then if I ever do go away for a long trip or something and I want a bigger fridge, I'm going to make it so we can put the drawer fridge on top of all of these drawers and put the big box fridge back on there. So I'll be making a lid for it, but the lid's going to be able to cut in two, so you can free up space to put the big fridge back in if you need to. All right, so the first thing I've done is cut out this template out of some thinner hardboard. So it's a bit easier to work with. You can move it around in the back of the car. You can trim all the corners out and stuff a bit easier. And if you mess it up, then it's not the end of the world, because timber is expensive right now. So what I've done on here is marked out and drilled these holes, which are going to line up with those seat mounts there. And then this should slide back into there like that. I took all the measurements. That was one thing I struggled with a little bit to start with, is there's just nothing straight or regular to take a measurement off to find these holes and everything. These wheel wells are completely different shapes on each side. There's nothing really consistent across the back. The sides are on sort of slight angles here. So the best line I could find is this one along the back of the tray. And yeah, took all the measurements off of that. And then I think you should be able to see all of the bolts shining through the holes. So now what I'm going to do is take this template. I've marked it up with where all the drawers and the little kitchen slide out thing is going to go. So I'm just going to take that template, put it on top of a proper piece of wood, mark it out and cut out the proper piece of wood. Should I introduce him? Should I put him in the video? Yeah. So this is my assistant. His name's Juan. He's a rescue bird. He fell out of a tree a few weeks back, a month back now. And I found him at the side of the road. He was looking pretty rough. And he's doing a bit better now. I'm using 12mm particle board or chipboard to build this out. I'm not sure it's the best thing to use. I think plywood's probably a better option, but this stuff was way cheaper, so that's what we're using. Okay, I've cut the chipboard out using the template, drilled the holes inside, and I've just put these 3 vertical separators up. It should give you a basic gist of where I'm going with this. All the batteries and compressor and stuff will be up the back behind the seats. Be another drawer on top of there, lid on the top, all the electronics and inverter, modem, all on the side, a few switches in there as well for the overhead light and compressor. Drawer fridge is going to sit in there with a little shelf above it, and the lid is going to be split to the middle here, so you can lift that off with the shelf, put the other fridge, the drawer fridge, on this side, and put the big fridge up in here. That's the plan. So I just got to build this out a little bit more. I'm going to put a back panel across there, box these batteries in, and make the lid. There's a battery box. Just going to make a little lid up for it now. And hopefully that should keep them from jumping up and waving at me in the rearview mirror. I think we're on a lunch break. One's back for some food. His name's Juan because when we found him at the side of the road, he'd been attacked, and for a minute I thought he only had one eye, but now he's only got one eyebrow, so we called him Juan. Now he sort of comes and goes as he pleases. Comes back for lunch. I think he'd been abandoned by his parents, so fallen out of the nest. He was only about 2 weeks old, I think, when I found him. And he was not looking healthy. He's lying on his back with his wings sprayed and his feet up in the air. I was pretty sure he was dead, but I picked him up and there was still something there. Now he just hangs out and helps me put drawers in the back of my car. I say helps, he interrupts, demanding food. What was that? Didn't like that, did you? And we're off. See ya. And that's the compressor in. Make up some cables to link these batteries together in parallel. I'm sure there's a proper tool and a proper method of doing this, but this is what I'm doing. I think it's a big hydraulic crimper. I think that's the tool for the job, but I don't have one. One black cable. All right. Without the aid of a hydraulic crimp, I'm just gonna feed this in there. Progress with the electrics. Got the batteries wired up. Run those around here, around here. Made up a bit of a faceplate for the inverter and the solar and my modem. And yeah, it's coming together. Doing a bit of a test fit now. Juan's coming to say hello. He's probably hungry. All right, so got that in. Bolt holes are all lining up. Got that panel cut out. If anybody's got any tips on how to cut straight lines with a jigsaw, please let me know, because I have not worked that out yet. And I'm just doing the same as I did with the bottom. Got a piece of hardboard and testing it to fit up with the edge of the windows and the back of the seats and the front here. So I'm just about to cut this down there, and that's going to be one half of the lid, and then we'll get on and do a template for the other side. Well, I had to have one stuff up. So this is the lid that's going to come off to put the bigger fridge in, and then it stays on when the drawer fridge is in here. Got it all cut around there nicely, got a join down the middle, sits on there, and it's 50mm too short all the way around the outside. But at least I've got a template to cut the bigger piece of wood. All right, here we go. That's the test fit done. Now we just got to wait for the fridge to turn up and cut a new piece of wood up for the top here. I've got another panel coming that goes in here for some switches and some USB ports. All I need to do is pull it out and paint it. Okay, so it's the next day. Had a bit of an interruption. Bushfire came through town. Well, it was threatening to come through town, and that slowed things down a little bit. They thought we were going to have to evacuate the town, but it came good. Just burnt out before it got here. But we made a bit of progress with this. All the drawers are in, fridge is in there now. Put my panels down the side, put a bit of paint on it. I was going to Raptor-line the top of this, but then it was going to cost a fair old bit in Raptor-liner. And I just went for these foam tiles. And they're kind of good, they kind of grip stuff a bit better, you can brush them down. And if they get manked up, then it's only a few bucks and you can just pop them out and replace them. So I thought that was not a bad shout for covering the top of that. Put these little doors on the side, put some tools in there. Got my drawers, a little light on the front, recovery gear, some switch from overhead light. I've still got a panel coming with some switches in there for the compressor and the overhead light and the fridge. And then this bit is quite nice. I can store my max tracks in there and my kinetic rope. And then the whole thing, it's hard to do this single-handedly. The whole thing slides out because it was originally a fridge slide. And that leaves you with a good little workbench if you had to do a little roadside repair or something. It's a nice height to sit there and work on something. And then I can still take these tiles off and pop that panel out in the middle and put my full size sort of angle type fridge in there. And then I can pop that up to the side, so if I was going on a big long trip, I can have a bit more refrigeration, because this thing it's only 30 litres. It is pretty small. But for little overnight trips and stuff, uses less power, and it's way more convenient sliding out than opening up. And then the camping goes on. Got the little kitchen slide out as well. And round the back, got the compressor, some batteries, shovel, another kinetic rope, a few bits and pieces for camping. And yeah, those max tracks were a little bit too long for that cupboard, so I had to cut the back out of it. But I don't know that's a bad thing. It might be useful for other stuff with the back off it. And yeah. So I think it's that little electrical panel and we'll be done. And there it is. Got the switch panel in, got my modem up there at the top, voltmeter, some USBs, then some switches for the air compressor, modem, and overhead light. Then we got the inverter, a watt meter, and the solar. And I've just put in that fitting so I can plug my airline in the back to pump up the tires. Now I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but the King's compressor I've got, it's kind of good. It moves heaps of air, pumps tires up really quickly, but it gets hotter than the sun. So I did a bit of MacGyvering and we've ended up with this. The back down there is a battery operated leaf blower, which I've wired up to the compressor, and then ducted it into where the compressor is. So I've gone through like 3 of these compressors. I do a lot of 4-wheel drive recovery, so I use it a lot, and they just get super hot and then shake themselves to pieces and everything starts leaking. So I think it's the heat getting so hot is cracking all the nuts, and yeah, so now I've got it ducted into a leaf blower and it keeps it cool as now. You can touch the pistons after pumping up like 8 tires and it's nice and cool. And also it means I've got a leaf blower in my car, so if I want to blow the sand or dust out, I can just pull it out and blow around the car. Not very conventional, but it works. Pretty stoked with how it's all turned out. It's ticked all the boxes I was setting out for, so yeah, I've taken it off-roading and nothing's jumped up in the rearview mirror and waved at me, so that's all good. And yeah, happy with it. Hopefully it's giving you guys watching a few ideas. Drop a message in the comments to let me know what you're doing with your cars.